Hey everybody, excuse the sounds of the city. It's getting harder and harder to find a place to film. But so this video is about me kind of going carnivore, I would say. So I've been trying to be less extreme lately and take things one step at a time, and I made myself one step at a time into carnivore. So I just kind of wanted to go through why and what I'm doing. So I've talked about a lot of this stuff, but about 2.5 months ago I went OMAD, which was 1 meal a day, and that kind of leaned into me no longer drinking anymore. And I just kind of have that led to, on April 16th, I quit having dairy because I find I'm very reactive to it. And the no dairy led into no gluten. And I've always wanted to try carnivore. I did it for 5 days once and didn't end up continuing, and a few days another. And I didn't stop because of the diet itself, but because of where I was at mentally. And so I've always wanted to go back there and be able to like do it for real. So I had tried going in strict before and it didn't work for me. So I wanted to do the opposite of that this time. And so I did it one step at a time by slowly bringing stuff out. So that's on May 1st, I went low carb carnivore. I just called it low carb carnivore because it was for me low carb. So I just started increasing my meat and fat intake more and more, because I kind of struggled before to absorb all of the fat to give myself enough energy. And it's been like probably 5 years since I had done keto or anything like that. I had successfully done it in the past, but anyway, so May 1st, I did what I called low carb keto, which was I just had like I had 2 cups of rice and the rest was meat, and I was doing OMAD. So I was just eating a lot more meat and a lot more fat. About 15 days after that, 21 days after that, I had just slowly reduced the amount of rice I was having. So I was pretty much having meat and rice. And when it was too much fat, or it just made my stomach super unsettled, I would do an ox pile, and that worked for me. A lot of people say maybe you shouldn't do it. A lot of people say that you can take it in the beginning and that it's a good thing. It worked for me. It made it so that I wasn't just in pain from absorbing too much, or my stomach trying to absorb too much fat. And it's something you're supposed to get off of unless you don't have a gallbladder, because it's supposed to help you kind of improve your ability to absorb fat. So about May 21st, let me get the exact day, May 21st, I kind of went like, not quite strict carnivore, but I quit all carbs. I guess I went ketovore. I got off carbs, and I was pretty surprised how quickly I got into ketosis. I wasn't actually measuring or anything. I just know that from kind of keto flu-like symptoms. And I hit my second step of like kind of like a keto flu symptoms when I became even stricter around 2 or 3 weeks after that. I kind of got rid of things like hot dogs and other things, and mainly just went to steak and hamburgers. I did that video. I quit coffee on May 26th. And so at this point, it's been probably more ketovore, where I have been doing certain things. I would say 95% of what I'm eating is meat the past few weeks. It's a lot of steak, and hence the thumbnail of the video. Just been buying steak at Costco wholesale, and then it's a lot cheaper that way. It's like $13.99 a pound instead of closer to $17.99. And for me that works because I'm just eating about a pound of meat. So I've been losing a lot of weight, although maybe that was one goal of like getting healthier, but that wasn't the main goal. But I have lost a lot of weight, and I don't know that I'll be able to stick to just eating about a pound of meat a day. It should probably go up to more like 2 pounds, but for now that's what I feel good doing. So throughout this, there's been times where I've pretty much just eaten a steak and nothing else. And then there's been other days where I will have my mom make some homemade yogurt that's been fermented and everything, and doesn't have a ton of it doesn't have a lot of sugar in it, and it wasn't breaking me out of ketosis or anything like that. And maybe like some blueberries here, but I've pretty much completely stopped all of that. I was also having like dark chocolate and some coconut oil, like stuff like that. And then the past few days I even got into doing like some pork rinds and biltongs, jerky, stuff like that. And I found I just wasn't feeling quite up to as good as I have been. So tonight I just had steak, salt, and pepper. And I've been doing salt, pepper, garlic, anything that's not like a sugary seasoning. I learned that on the first time that I attempted carnivore. About the 5th day I was just doing salt and meat, and I just kind of hit a wall of, I was hungry and I was like starving, but looking at the meat, I just literally couldn't eat it. And that's kind of when it broke me, and I had a cup of rice and felt a lot better. But I did not do that this time, but I also planned my way into it. And one of those things that I did was I just decided I was gonna, as long as it didn't have sugar in it, I was gonna let myself have as much seasoning as I wanted to. And these past few days have almost been like a struggle of if I want to continue or not, just because looking at food and doing all of that, something that was the easiest to do in the beginning, which was just to say no, for some reason I had been struggling with it. And so that was kind of why I added in like the pork rinds and the biltong and stuff, because it was almost like I was cheating, even though it was technically carnivore. It was like having some chips, or like having some nuts, which would be more ketovore. But I finally just wasn't feeling as good. So today I just had my steak with some salt and pepper, and I feel already many times better than the previous days that I felt. So why am I doing this crazy thing? Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been trying to be less extreme. So instead of just going straight to carnivore, which is something I've always wanted to try, for like healing my body and all of that, a lot of people recommend just doing it for 90 days and then trying to reintroduce foods, and a lot of people find success with that. So I at least wanted to give it a try. There's lots of little things that I could probably get into on another video, just like tiny little ailments and annoyances that I was just kind of sick of, and I could tell that my food was affecting me, and so I might as well just go for it. And as I just slowly got more and more strict, it was just kind of an accident this time of just like, well, I'll just add in some more meat and some more fat, and I'll just get rid of this. And then the next thing I knew, I was like, I don't even want carbs anymore. I'm just gonna go ketovore. And then it was just like the next step. And now I feel like the next step for me is going that next extreme, which is salt and pepper. Because I've been finding that the meat just doesn't taste as good with the seasoning on it, and I'm actually not wanting it now with the seasoning on it. I'd like to start eating some more hamburger, like actual hamburgers on the grill, just salt and pepper too, just because it's cheaper. Hamburger's a lot cheaper. I enjoy the steak. I feel good with the steak, but it is expensive, especially where I'm at currently in life. Now, eating 1 pound of meat a day for $13.99 is really not that expensive compared to what I was doing before, because for everything that I'm doing, I'm spending the $13.99 for 1 pound of meat. I'm not drinking coffee. I'm not going out and buying a wrap or buying this, breakfast, lunch, dinner. 1 pound of meat a day, $13.99. There's no other anything. We don't go out to eat, and so it's like, yeah, ribeye is a little bit more expensive, but when I have nothing else that I'm eating, I'm actually saving so much money because I'm not spending it on all of those things that actually cost a lot of money. So, but I'd still like to introduce some hamburger, maybe a couple times a week, a few times a week, just because it's cheaper and just to see how I feel. In the beginning, that hot fat that's in hamburger, that liquid fat, I wasn't absorbing well, and now my body's getting better and better at absorbing it. I rarely have to take an ox bile. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I just wanted to do this video real quick. I've been wanting to talk about it because I've been doing it for a long time, and I just didn't know where to get started with it. So I've been pretty much doing ketovore, carnivore, and I'll probably continue talking about it depending on where I'm at with it. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in more content like this, please give me a like and a follow. Helps a lot. I'm almost at 1,000 follows, and that would make a big difference for me. So thank you for watching.